My name is Tumi Segoale. I'm 26 and I'm currently a psycho trainee accountant, third year. I'm working in Roodepoort for Zili auditors. When I go to work, I drive 9 times out of 10. It's only on different occasions where I use public transport, like different clients. I typically wake up at about 6:30 in the morning, cutting it a little bit close, and I spend about 30 minutes on the road. I typically, 30 minutes going to the office and 30 minutes back, and I spend roughly 2,500 Rand on gas every month.
On a simple, straightforward day like this one, Tumi drives from here to town. His only real goal to make sure he gets to work on time. Simple as that.
You must be at your desk by 8.
At 8?
Yeah.
Okay, and then...
So, as per our boss, you can't be parking your car at 8. You have to be at your desk at 8.
Oh, that's crazy. So, like, what time do you usually aim to be there?
5 minutes to 8.
Yeah, fairly reasonable. With the variety of transport methods available to him, Tumi really has the pick of the lid on how he decides to get to work there in town. It all depends on how much money he decides to spend, and more importantly, how early he wants to wake up. Going through his morning routine with him is not the easiest. Fortunately, with years of practice, he's fairly used to it at this point. I wanted to see how easy it was for him to get to work, ranging from how long it takes to how much it costs. I'll say this much, it wasn't cheap. Day 1 was the easiest. We decided to drive to work that morning and it took just over 20 minutes, which was great because unfortunately both of us overslept. Day 2 was similarly as easy. I called an Uber to his house, which, though it took quite a few minutes longer than I was used to, at the end of the day, still got me to his office in about the same amount of time, though at a much more exorbitant cost. While progress has been made in making the township more accessible, small things are still happening that make Soweto just a little bit difficult to navigate. For one, Tumi's road lacks road signs. This means that if we're trying to call an Uber, there's a massive threat that it's going to come on the other side of the street, behind his house, where it takes an extra 10 minutes to come around and actually pick him up. So whatever time we see on the Uber app might not actually guarantee what time we'll arrive at his office. While as reliable as an Uber can be, the costs can vary wildly. The Uber ride to his office today cost just under 150 Rand. But as you can see, the trip coming back during peak time traffic went to just over 200 Rand. If we had to average this out at 150 Rand to get to work and 200 Rand to get back from work, it would cost Tumi about 7,000 Rand a month to get to and from work for 5 days of work a week. Day 3 was easily the hardest. As with most people attempting to reach work outside of Soweto, it's a maze of interconnecting transport networks and compounding costs.
I wouldn't take a taxi from my house to the mall, so that's walking distance, a taxi. But if you're gonna go from, like, when I was traveling, I would take a bus from UJ Soweto campus to Jabulani Mall. That costed about 12 Rand to get there. This is back in 2022/22.
Yeah.
So by now it would be about 15 Rand if I wanted to go there, and then 15 Rand to come back. It's like 30 Rand round trip.
Similarly, if Tumi wanted to take a taxi, it's a network that starts from the Dobsonville taxi rank, heads all the way to Westgate Mall, and then from there he would have to find another taxi that either drops him off directly outside, walk the 4 kilometers, or call an Uber that would roughly cost about 30 to 40 Rand as well. Unfortunately, with the multimodal nature of this route, I couldn't take all of my equipment with me, but trust me when I tell you that this trip would take roughly an hour and a half from taxi rank to office, if he decided to take it every morning. And this isn't counting how long it takes him to get ready, nor on days where he has to travel to his clients all over the province.
Mornings they were rough. It's definitely that thing of waking up early. I think it's carried forward even now, because like even now when I have to go to far away, or when I have to like go to Pretoria audits or whatever, I have to be at work at 6 to either get the company car or meet everyone else, and then we all drive to Pretoria to start an even earlier day than everyone else at 7 in the morning.
Though transport in Soweto is built on the backs of the taxi industry, the ranks themselves are not particularly well maintained or clean. Though some entrepreneurial individuals still find the space to push their wares to the nearby travelers. An entire trip via taxi to and from work would cost Tumi about 60 Rand a day, not counting the Ubers that he would need to take to and from the taxi rank and the office to be able to catch said taxis, which would bring the price up to about 120 Rand for a round trip. All in all, Tumi's made his peace with driving. The 2,500 Rand he spends on petrol is more than worth the convenience he is able to receive, especially on nights where he unfortunately needs to leave fairly late in the evening, because at least this way he can guarantee his safety and get a few extra hours of sleep in the morning.